We are going to be doing lesson 22, part 1. You might notice my background is different. It's because I moved my desk. So now this is my background. Go ahead, pause the video if you need more time, but I am going to move on. All right, we have a new phonogram today. This is our new phonogram. This says E. Say E. Good. If I hold up 2 fingers and say E, which other phonogram do you think I might be giving you a cue for? If I say E, do you remember? E double E. So therefore, we need a different cue for this phonogram. We will call this E the E of field. Say E, the E of field. Very good. I'm going to show you real quick, just on a sticky note, how we write field. There we go. And that is why we are calling this the E of field. Awesome. All right. And what does this say again? E. Very good. And what do I say? What's my cue? I say E double E. Very good. So for this one, I would say E the E double E. And for this one, I say E the E of field. Awesome. All right. Let's quiz all our phonograms. Hide our new ones. Or new one, I guess. All right, ready? A, 2-letter A, that may be used at the end of English words. 2-letter used only at the beginning of a base word. Forgot that part. Were. E, A. E, the E of field. N, 2-letter N, used at the beginning or the end of a base word. A, 2-letter A, that may not be used at the end of English words. I, used at the beginning of a base word or before a T. Oi, 2-letter Oi, that may not be used at the end of English words, or that may be used at the end of English words. N, 2-letter N, used only at the beginning of a base word. C, Z, O, U, may be used at the end of English words. R, ed, d, t. B, 2-letter B. U, 2-letter U, may not be used at the end of English words. The of search. O. Ow, o, oo, the of hurt. O, 2-letter O, may not be used at the end of English words. Ch, k, sh. E double E. The of bird. Ch, 3-letter ch. Ow, O, may be used at the end of English words. Ez, z. Hua, I, three-letter I. A, o, u, ow, uff, off. A, e, I may not be used at the end of English words. A, af, or ng. A, two-letter A, may not be used at the end of English words. The of her. A, e, may be used at the end of English words. Two-letter g, two-letter g. Sorry, also g, gwa. Sorry, forgot about that second sound. Gwa. Sh, k, two-letter k. Oi, two-letter oi, that may not be used at the end of English words. Ah, two-letter ah, that may be used at the end of English words. U, you, may be used at the end of English words. Awesome. All right. Now we're going to get out our workbooks. How do you add a suffix to a word that ends with single vowel Y? Do you remember? Y changes to what letter? I, and then you add the new suffix, unless the suffix begins with I, like ing. You don't have double I's, right? Right. Go ahead and open your book to page 180. Looks like this. All right. Step 1, look at the words in each row on the next page. Write the base word in the first column. Step 2, highlight the words that do not follow the rule single vowel Y changes to I when adding any ending unless the ending begins with I. And then answer these questions. So it's talking about these over on this page, on page 181. I'm going to go ahead and tear out my page, but you can leave yours in your book, just so we can look at it a little easier. All right. So we have to figure out what the base word is by looking at the hints they kind of give us. All right. So we have cried and cries. What's the base word? Cry. Very good. And we spell it C-R-Y. All right. Number 2, dried, dries, dryable, dryness, dryer, dryer, driest, and dryly. What is the base word? Dry. Very good. D-R-Y. Next, flies, flyable, flyer, and flyer. What's the base word? Fly. Fried, fries, friable, fryer, and fryer. The word is fry. Good. Number 5, we have guys, and that's the only one. So just take that S away, and we have guy. Buys, buyable, buyer. The word is buy. Plied, plies, pliable, plier, and plier. This isn't a word you hear often, but it is ply. pride, prize, prior, and prior. The word is pry. Shied, shies, shyness, shyer, shyer, shyest, shyest, and shyly. The word is shy. Here we have skies. The base word for skies is sky. Slyness, slyer, slyer, slyest, slyest, slyly, and slyly. The word is sly. Spied and spies, spy. Spryness, spryer, spryer, spryest, spryest, and spryly is spry. Tried, tries, triable, try. Number 15 they give us is why. Does not have any suffixes that can be added to that word. And number 16, we have wryness, wryer, wryest, and wryly. And the word is wry. Just like that. All right. Remember, pause the video if you need more time. I'm going to keep going. Back into our book. We need to, oh, nope, not back in the book yet. I forgot we got to do step 2. So we just did step 1. Now we have to do step 2, which is highlight the words that do not follow the rule. Single vowel Y changes to I when adding any ending unless the ending begins with an I. So which ones are our exceptions to that rule? We don't have any in cry, but we do have some in dry. Dryable, dryness, dryer, the bottom one, and dryly do not follow that rule. All right, let's keep going. Flyable and flyer. Friable and fryer. Guys, buys and buyable and buyer, plier, prior, shyness, shyer, shyest, and shyly. And slyness, slyer, slyest, and slyly. Spryness, spryer, spryest, and spryly. And wryness and wryly. I think those are all. Yep, okay. Now we can go back into our book and answer those questions. All right. So, number 1. How many syllables do each of the base words have? They have 1 syllable. Which suffixes include exceptions to the Y suffixing rule? Let's see, we have the S and able, ness. Let's see where I'm just looking for anywhere we've highlighted, any columns. Est, and ly. Which suffix is always an exception to the rule? Which one? is every single word highlighted in. The NESS. That one is always an exception. Number 4, which words have 2 accepted spellings when adding a suffix? We have a bunch of them, a lot of ones here and over here. So we're going to write those down. So we have dryer, dryer, flyer, flyer, fryer, fryer, flyer, flyer, prior, prior, shire, and shire, slyer and slyer, spryer and spryer, shyest and shyest, slyest and slyest, spryest and spryest. Sorry, I'm kind of writing on an angle. And slyly and slyly. All right, which 2 base words never follow the Y suffixing rule? Which ones never follow? Which word has all of their suffix words highlighted? Guy and buys. Very good. Whoops, spelled that wrong. Wrong buy, Miss Kinsler. Let me get out my whiteboard real quick. All right, let's take a look at buy and guys. Buys and guys. What do you notice about these 2 words? They use some new phonograms that we just learned. They use the 2-letter B and the 2-letter G, which both end in U. So how do we make these words plural? We just add the S. Why don't we add ES? Because the Y does not change to what? Y does not change to I, so we do not have to add ES. So remember, to make a noun plural, add the ending S unless the word hisses or changes, then add ES. And some nouns have no change or an irregular spelling. And single vowel Y changes to I when adding any ending unless the ending begins with an I. How would you describe exceptions to this rule? Remember that we decided that single vowels that end, single syllable words that end in a Y didn't follow that rule. We just figured that out up here. So, buy and guy do not change. Some words change and some do not when adding suffixes like able, est, and ly. Most words ending in single vowel Y do follow this rule. However, it's helpful to know that some of the 1-syllable words do not follow it when we are adding those particular suffixes. All right, great job, my friends. Moving right along. want you to look at this. Today, we're going to learn where this phonogram says it's long sound E. Which single letter phonogram have we learned that has two long sounds? O, U. Nope, sorry. U, Very good. So, U, So like U, I and Y also have two long sounds. So what does this one say? Y, I, E. Which one is the short sound? I. And what one is the long sound? I. And which additional sound do you think is the long one for Y? E. Very good. Where does Y say the long E sound? It says E only in an unstressed syllable at the end of a multi-syllable word. So looking back at I, what does this one say? I, E, Y. What's the short sound? I. What's the long sound? I. And what do you think is the other long sound? E. Very good. Where is one place that I says the long E sound? I'm going to give you a hint, okay? Ooh, almost ran out of space there. Here you go. All right, so happy plus ness equals happiness. What does the why does the I say the long E sound in happiness? Because the single vowel Y said the long E sound in happy. So when it changes to I, the I also says the long E sound. Remember when we talked about that? I do. So where do the syllables divide in happiness? Happiness. Where is I saying its second long sound? At the end of this syllable. Good. Let's explore a few more words where I says long E. Open your book if you closed it. And we're going to be on page 182, which I ripped out of mine, but you probably didn't rip yours out. 182, right here. All right, read the words aloud, draw a line between each syllable, highlight all the long E sounds with yellow, and then describe what you observe. All right, step one, read the words aloud. Medium, ravioli, stadium, chili, radio, broccoli, patio, ski, amphibian, pepperoni, abbreviate, safari, historian, salami. Now we're going to draw a line between each syllable. So we have medium, medium, ravioli, stadium, chili, radio, broccoli, patio, ski. Just one there. Amphibian, pepperoni, abbreviate, safari, history, and salami. All right, and now we're going to highlight all the long E sounds with yellow. Medium. Ravioli, stadium, chili, radio, broccoli, ski, patio, amphibian, pepperoni, safari, abbreviate, history, and salami. So remember, we were just doing the long E sounds that I made. So there were like medium and abbreviate. Those E's make long E sound, but we're focusing on the I's. All right, what pattern do you see? I see that I says the long E sound at the end of a syllable, and it says long E at the end of the word. So end of a syllable and end of the word. What is unusual about the second column of words? Remember, we say English words do not end in I, and yet all of these end in an I. Do you think these words are exceptions to the rule? They might be, but notice that the rule is carefully worded to say English words do not end in I, U, V, or J. If you see an I at the end of a word, that means the word is not a native English word. Its spelling came from another language. For example, ravioli, pepperoni, salami, those are Italian words. So that is not an English word. They come from Italy. Good. What part of speech are each of these words? What part of speech? They're all nouns, except for ski. Ski can also be a verb, but ski is also a noun. So they're all nouns. Ski is a noun and a verb. As the English language developed, words were brought in from other languages. Sometimes when a new word is brought into English, the original spelling is retained. It stays the same. Less than 0.1% of the words we use in English end with I, and almost all of these are loaned words from other languages. What is the one truly English word that ends with I? It's the word I, as in me, myself, if I'm talking about myself. I am happy, right? I is the only true English word that ends with I, because it's the only letter in that word. When you see a word that ends in I, you instantly should know that it is not an English word. Most of the time, I will say E at the end of a word. All right, move on over here to the next page. Page 183. Step 1, read the word aloud, match it to the correct picture. Step 2, with blue, I happen to have a blue marker, highlight the I saying its second long sound E, And then with yellow, highlight the reason that I is saying its second long sound E. All right, so read the word aloud, match it to the correct picture. Police, easy. Tangerine, magazine, trampoline. All right, with blue, highlight the I saying its long sound E. Police, tangerine, magazine, trampoline. And then with yellow, highlight the reason that I is saying its long sound. It's because of that silent final E. The vowel says its long sound because of the E. Remember that? That is spelling rule 7.2, which says I may say E with a silent final E at the end of a syllable and at the end of foreign words. Let me show you that card. I may say E with a silent final E at the end of a syllable and at the end of foreign words. Awesome. So in other words, I may say its second long sound, E, any place a vowel can say a long sound. One reason for this is that in the 1400s, there was a shift in how some of the English vowels were pronounced. I'm going to close my book real quick. So for example, in Latin, I was pronounced E. So in Latin, this was pronounced E. Today, it's commonly pronounced E in languages which were derived from Latin, which is a lot of languages, such as Italian and Spanish. Before the great vowel shift, this vowel was also pronounced E in English. During this time, the pronunciation changed to I in many words of English origin. However, the I still has the pronunciation E in some words derived from Latin and other suffixes, and when a Y that says E changes to I before a suffix. All right. Last thing I want to do with you today is in your workbook, turn to page 184. Says I, says Y. Read each word aloud. With yellow, highlight the I that is saying its consonant sound Y. With blue, highlight the vowels in each word. Write the number of syllables in the blank. All right, I'll do the first two with you together, and then I'm going to have you pause the video to complete it on your own. All right, first one is onion. With yellow, highlight the I that is saying its consonant sound Y. And with blue, highlight the vowels in the word. All right, and then write the number of syllables in the blank. Onion. All right, next one, union. Highlight the I saying the Y sound. Highlight the vowels and write the syllables. Union. All right, now pause the video, do this on your own, come back for the answers. All right, pause the video. All right, if you're playing the video, you're checking your answers, right? You've already done this. All right, there are the answers. Pause the video if you need more time to check them. But When I says Y, is it a vowel or a consonant? When I says Y. Or sorry, when I says Y. It's a consonant. Very good. How do you know it's a consonant? Because it is a sound that is blocked. Y cannot be sung. It does not create another syllable. Very good. All right, my friends, I am all done with you today, and I will see you next class. Goodbye.